Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Kibbles and Pookie's Squared Circle.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, I usually do the ding ding, but I wanted to start off with some reviews.
Oh, we got reviews.
Yeah!
We famous. We got reviews.
Well, it doesn't mean we're famous, but I'll read some off. Let's see here. My paper says...
Oh, he's got paper.
This Kibbles guy is annoying.
What?
Yeah, it just says... Just says his voice is shrill and annoying.
That's not possible at all. Who wrote that? I want to know who wrote the review.
It doesn't say. Maybe.
What do you mean it doesn't say?
It just doesn't say. I'm just reading off the reviews. But let me read off another one. It's almost like Kibbles doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to wrestling. See, that's a bad one too. I feel like that's a bad one.
How could they say that?
I don't know.
I routinely school you in wrestling knowledge.
You know, if anything, you know more about wrestling than I do.
Yeah. Does that person think they know more than me?
I don't know. Let me just read off one more.
Okay.
Okay. I'll read off one more.
I have faith that this will be a good one.
See, this one doesn't make any sense. It just says, I hate his face. You know what? These are my notes.
You bastard.
I'm sorry. I didn't even read this. Reviews are good, though, actually. You know what? These reviews, I was looking at the wrong thing. The reviews say that everything, like, it's just nice things. It's just nice things. They actually say nothing bad about you or me. It's actually quite positive.
Well, all right. We're just going to have to sit down and have a serious talk after this, mister.
Okay, I don't like that. Let's just start.
Somebody ring the bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast all about wrestling. In this corner, an author and a black belt, Kibbles.
Kibbles? What kind of name is that?
Pookie the Wolf is the best.
I forgot my cockies. And in this corner, Pookie the Wolf.
Pookie the Wolf is one of the best.
Welcome to the Kibbles and Pookie's Squared Circle.
So there's a lot to talk about. I was sick last week, so we missed, SummerSlam and all that discussion and whatnot. So I guess we can maybe start with that. You want to start with
Really?
SummerSlam?
Was it SummerSlam that we? Oh no,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about SummerSlam.
We didn't talk about stuff because I was sick last week.
Jesus, I'm gonna let you kind of take a little bit of this because I am just wiped out on wrestling at the moment.
Okay, first off, awesome that Bailey is back.
SummerSlam? You're talking about SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bailey came back.
Mm-hmm.
She's with Dakota Kai and Io Shirai, who's now
also
Io Sky now.
So Io Sky, was she released?
No,
She just wasn't. She was on NXT.
correct.
Okay, so
She was on NXT. She
'cause
wasn't
Dakota
on.
or she's like what, King Coda or something like that now.
Oh, is she?
She has her name, or maybe that's just her Twitter name. I don't know.
I think that's her Twitter name.
Dakota Kai's back.
I think her regular name stayed the same,
Okay.
or her ring name stayed the same.
So those two are. That was probably the big one.
That was awesome.
You go through the positives for you, and I'll tell you what I'm excited for from that.
Okay.
pay-per-view.
That was awesome. The Pat McAfee thing was way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. What else was really good about SummerSlam? Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns was more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. And had something that I legitimately have never seen before, which is very unusual. I remember it happened, and I texted the text chain of some of my friends who were watching, and I said, "This is the first time that Michael Cole has said I've never seen this before." And I'm like, you know what? He actually hasn't seen this before. Because usually, all the time, he's like, "Oh, we've never seen it. I've never seen this before," and you can immediately pick out 3 other times it happened.
Because Botchamania's done that too, where they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this has never been," and then he goes back and plays parts that happened.
Yeah. So that and I was like, okay. That match, I was snooze fest going into it. That's what I was thinking. It was way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. And had one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen in professional wrestling. The other thing I wanted to mention is the oddness of the zipper. So I don't know if you noticed, but
Okay. I
so
think I did, but go ahead. Now
did you
I
say
didn't.
you partially did.
I said I don't think I did, but I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't fully watch
So
it.
Liv Morgan came out, and I was like, something looks weird. I was like, it looks like something's on her. And then I realized that there's just a zipper on her crotch.
There's a zipper on her crotch.
Yeah, like from the
Like-
front to the back.
Okay.
And I was just like, this is weird. And they did not even try to hide it in like the costume or
Her
anything.
coochie came out.
No,
Oh, okay.
nothing came out, but it
Sorry.
was just
Again, I didn't watch the whole thing. so-
like I'm sure that there have been many women in WWE and in other sports and other
was it
things
like
that
the
have.
look?
What do you mean the look?
Like, was it just the way her style is? Because I know she has like weird, like
yeah,
kind
she
of-
has like I guess zippers and
Like
like
when you
I
s-
think it was supposed to fit in with her style, and I'm sure there have been other women who have had like zippers on the crotch so they can go to the bathroom easier. But like I feel like I've never noticed it before. So in my head, I've said like, oh, they like try to hide it in the costume so like you don't see it, and they did not try to hide it. There's just blatantly a zipper right there, and it was so hard not to
I'm
notice.
sorry, I gotta look at this now.
It was so hard not to notice and then not look at constantly.
Well, you remember that one time that you quote, and I'm going to quote you here, and you said, if it's the first thing I'm looking at on female wrestlers, it's their crotch, and that's why you saw the zipper right away.
Exactly.
That's the
No, wait,
direct
I don't
quote.
say that. It's not a direct quote.
No, sorry. Okay.
He's a liar. Don't believe him.
I'm sorry. That might have been me, actually. I'll have to look this up because it's just now it's bothering me that you even said something. So, like, what? Yeah, it's Is there just a picture of it? There's no. Hold on.
There's got to be a picture of it somewhere.
I'm
I'm
sure
sorry
there's
that
a
my voice got far. I went up to
picture
get some tea. My water had
Of
boiled.
it.
I'm a tea snub,
Okay, here's
not a
some-
tea snub. Now, okay, so just so everybody knows, Pookie is actively
Is it on the?
looking
can't-
up. It's like from the front to the back.
Okay, no, I see it.
Yeah, you see it?
I see it. It
And
was
it's
like
one
the
of
all
those-
purple and black, right?
Yes. The bottom's
there's
black,
just
the
a-
top's purple.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't not notice it. And I mean, like, it wasn't like it stopped. It went from the front all the way, like,
I'm gonna be
past
honest,
in the back.
I did not see this starting off this way.
I'm just saying.
It's just
I saw
weird.
it. I saw it and was like, I'm going to bring this up to
So do
Pook.
you think that actually has practical use, or do you think it's
Yes.
just okay? Because I have like a Captain America suit,
Well,
and
so-
it has no like, it
Well,
has
so-
zippers that don't work.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing, right? It could be a style choice. I would find it incredibly odd if it was purely a style choice. My head immediately goes to it's
You gotta pee.
practical use. You can then use the restroom without having to take a whole bunch of things off.
That was not anything that I thought you'd bring up at all. I was
Okay.
going to bring up the fact that Logan Paul surprised me.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
yes.
he's done other matches,
That
but like
too.
that
I'll be honest, I forgot that happened.
that
but yes.
table break was fantastic. Like
Mhm.
it was just even that it almost felt like he was in the air longer than he was.
Yeah.
It was very like just very beautiful stance and just performance as far as that jump,
Yeah, Logan Paul did a great job.
which I don't want to give him credit for, but he's doing all right.
He's doing good.
I don't want to give him
He
credit.
did good.
But
You give him credit. Edge came back. That was cool. Although that wasn't quite how I thought that was gonna go. I thought that I thought Dominic was gonna turn on his dad
Yeah, you
and
did say
join
Dominic was going to
join Judgment Day, but apparently that's not gonna happen. So
There were memes that came up. Isn't there memes that came up out of it, or maybe I'm just
that was on Raw the next night. You're talking about the Rhea Ripley choking
Yeah.
him out with her legs.
I made one. Hold on, and I'll put it up on the YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put it up. But I made one for Twitter. It's more of a video game reference, but I still think it's funny.
Yeah, she choked out. She was choking Dominic with her thighs.
Yeah.
On Raw, and
yeah.
It was a lot of males out there would wish that, and some females would wish that she would do that to them.
Where the fuck did I put it?
He's actively trying to find it.
Don't stop telling people.
Oh,
Here we go.
I'm not telling people anything.
It was here we go. It was my expectations for Resident Evil 8 when Lady
I get
D-
that reference.
Yeah, see, it's
It's topical.
yeah, it's topical. Lady D and
Lady
then
D.
Dominic Mysterio was me because I thought she was going to choke me with her thighs.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the Logan Paul stuff kind of surprised me. Again, I didn't watch the whole matches. I just saw like the little bits and pieces here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I once again watched Raw the next night. Well, the 2 nights later.
I'm interested to hear what you thought of Raw. Was it better? I'm not saying it was.
Have to say,
Not saying it was like amazingly better or anything, but was it better
It
than
was-
like 2 or 3 weeks
it was
ago?
better. And the biggest thing for me now is their finishes. And the biggest finish that I was like, wow, that was a really cool match, just because of the finish, was it was Miz, Mustafa Ali, and AJ Styles. And so Mustafa Ali jumps off,
Mm-hmm.
lands a 450, and then he flips back up, and then Styles just catches him for the clash and clashes right on top of Miz, and then he pins him and wins. I was like, oh, that was awesome. That made me think like that was a good match. Like I might not have been paying attention to the whole match,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact that it wasn't a fucking roll up by somebody, I was like, yeah, I've seen a finisher actually. Can't remember the last time I saw a finisher that wasn't something that was just like the Claymore or the Superman punch.
Yeah.
Like it's literally like I don't see finishers anymore.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Triple H or for things to make a full change with Triple H in charge.
Although we don't have any, some words aren't banned anymore.
That's what I was going to say. He's very slowly kind of making his, making decisions like things like wrestler.
I'm gripping in my hands, but I'm thinking Michael Cole doesn't have to clench his butt cheeks and hear someone in his voice or hear someone in his head the whole time.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who have been saying that Michael Cole has been less annoying on commentary
Feels more
over the
relaxed.
last 2-3 shows.
Don't say title, damn it.
Yeah, which is good, right? Like so, I'm looking at it and I'm already like Triple H is starting to make some small,
It already feels pretty good.
changes that overall like I think if you want a real picture of how things are going to kind of run under the Triple H creative regime, I would say that wait probably about 90 days, maybe a little bit more, maybe 120, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say it'll probably take about 3 to 4 months to really start to like feel like the show has changed.
Yeah, I think the stupidest thing out of all of this was the fact that people were like, "Oh, AEW people are going to come back to WWE," and I'm like, "That's not how it works. You can't just leave whenever you feel like it. You have a contract for a reason."
Yeah, I think a lot of people were saying that because there was, I forget which AEW star it was.
Like Tony Khan has went on saying like, at least Alistair Malachi is going to be there for at least 5 years, and so is Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Like he said, both of them are long 2027 kind of shit.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of people were speculating and saying that because there was and again, I forget who it was, but there was an AEW star who was asked in an interview, and he said that he had absolutely no thoughts of going back to WWE. And then Vince left, and he heard that Triple H has been put in charge, and he said that now he would consider potentially going back.
And that makes sense.
And so are a whole bunch of people going to go over and leave? No. Are we going to have some people? And it will be like their contract ends and then they'll go over. It won't be like they're going to magically somehow get out of their contract and leave right now.
Yeah. And I think it's not so much with Triple H being in charge now. It's not like they just leave. It's not about whether they leave or not. It's about they're not going to leave right away.
Right. And I think that there was I full-heartedly believe that there are a lot of people out there who never wanted to go back because of Vince. And I think that there are a lot of people who now would consider potentially going back because Vince is out.
Yeah. Which entirely, it makes sense.
Yeah, and we'll wait and we'll see. It's exactly like any other organization, any other show, any other sports teams, there are going to be people who feel like they are underutilized and they're going to try to go to the some successfully and some not successfully are going to try to go to the competition to prove that they were worth something.
Yeah. Well, look at Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. It's inevitably, like, people are like freaking out, like no matter what, it was inevitably going to happen. inevitably, some people were going to get done with AEW and they were going to go to WWE, regardless of who's in charge.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Because that's just how it is. Like, there was never going to be a possibility of 0 people ever going to WWE from AEW.
And I think with the way I speak about both companies, I don't like the product that was going on for WWE now, and hopefully that changes. So I will like both.
Right. Well, that's what real fans want, right? The real fans just want to enjoy.
Well, I mean,
all
there's
the
people
stuff
out
like
there
I
who are
want.
like WWE is better and it'll always be better, and I'll never watch that stupid jobber, some bullshit they'd say.
Yeah.
That AEW jobber bullshit and blah blah blah.
Yeah, my opinion is that I want to be entertained. Am I significantly more entertained watching AEW right now? The answer is yes. If WWE turns some things around and becomes more entertaining to watch, like I'm still gonna watch AEW, but like I will be very like I'll have no problem saying like I enjoy WWE more this week.
Triple H is going to make WWE better. That doesn't mean that AEW is going to get worse.
Right.
It means both products are going to thrive now.
Right.
Which is good.
And that's what you want. That's what you want. If you have active competition, your show, you have to step your show up. And when that happens, it usually makes both products better.
So the thing I had an issue with, not really an issue, but the people that I still want gone in that company are Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn.
I saw a rumor the other day that Kevin Dunn might be on his way out.
I hope so. But even in an interview before SummerSlam, Triple H said, we're going to try our hardest. Me, Stephanie, Nick, Kevin Dunn, Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he still named him? Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Like, he didn't need to name him at all.
Yeah, it's difficult because he's been there a long time. It's difficult because, yes, you need to get some new blood in there. It's difficult because you can't... we can't pretend that Triple H is going to magically step in and everything's going to magically change overnight.
I just think morally it makes sense. Like, there's stuff that Vince has done that on the same spectrum of like Kevin Dunn doing stuff where it's just like, how is this guy not fired? Like,
yeah.
Like the whole thing with Becky Lynch pissed me off, where it's just like he did not think that she would be a top person because he didn't like her accent. It's like, what? But she can still wrestle. It doesn't matter if she's not got big old boobies or whatever.
She's not hot enough.
Exactly. That was the thing where Jim Cornette was saying. He's like, I remember being on a plane, and they were talking about some wrestler, and he's like, I remember Kevin Dunn saying, yeah, but she just didn't have big old boobies. And he's like, I remember how he said boobies because he sounded like a fucking Dr. Frankenstein's assistant. Like, you just
Igor.
hearing what Vince says and it just agrees with him or whatever.
Yeah, I think there are still a lot of things that are going to change over the next year, and we can't expect them all to happen at once. I would venture to say that and a lot of things can't happen very quickly, depending on contracts and all that kind of stuff. So, my opinion is, if we jump forward 1 year in time, my prediction is Kevin Dunn's not there. Bruce Pritchard, I don't know. I could see him staying around.
I don't see anything with Bruce Pritchard being bad.
Yeah, I could see him staying around. But I will say that I think if we jump forward a year in time, that Kevin Dunn's out. Or like he announces he's going to retire or something.
I'm not going to make it a big deal, but I will buy a confetti cannon. So I think a lot of the other stuff was cool. Bailey's finally back. How long has she been gone?
Like a year almost.
God. Yeah. I mean, I still get kind of frustrated with most of the things they're doing. But it feels like I'm getting more wrestling than I am getting commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like a lot of times I'm like, they haven't gone to a commercial yet. I was like, both people came out and they started wrestling and they're still wrestling. And it's been like 5 minutes. It's like, there's no commercial yet. And then it's even sometimes do picture in picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, okay. The thing I don't like is that they don't do what like Excalibur does, where he just goes, nah, we're going to take you. Don't go anywhere because you're going to see the action in picture. Like, they don't do a setup. They just go to a commercial.
Oh, they don't say anything?
Most of the time. I mean, I don't remember them saying. They're just like, oh, because they'll say it as if like they're doing a radio show where they're like, say Mysterio's getting beat by Veer or something. They're like, oh my God, can Veer come back from the, or can Rey Mysterio come back from this assault from Veer? And then they'll just go to commercial.
Well, that's how they've been doing it for.
Yeah, but
for
I'm saying, like, I'm
decades.
so used to Excalibur going, oh, we'll be right back at picture. I'm like, okay, they're going to commercial.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they. I mean, for all we know, they're. It's like a habit, right? You gotta like break the habit of calling it that way, and you need to like remember to add in that we're going to picture in picture, and it's like if you're Michael Cole and you've been doing this for like 20 years.
I mean, that's the thing. He's
and
not
you've
on
never.
Raw.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, like, if it was Michael Cole, you've been doing it for 20 years, and then all of a sudden you have to remember to do picture in picture. Like, you're probably gonna forget a bunch of times.
It's Bryce something, Corey Graves, and some bald bitch that I don't know who it is. I don't know who the bald bitch in the
Damn, how
middle
you
is.
gonna say it like that?
Because I don't like his voice. He sounds. There's such a kind of.
Oh, so it's a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a bald bitch. Because I don't give a fuck for him.
Listen, you said bald bitch.
thought
I thought it was a
woman.
bald woman
Or you thought it was a female dog.
or a female
An
dog.
actual female dog.
An actual female dog.
I don't
you
understand
right.
what she just said.
You right.
You're
She's
right.
She's
You're
got
right.
a duck under that.
Yeah. That was fucking weird. I just imagine a
Can
a
you
female pit in between
Take
Corey
us to
Graves and
break.
Bryce.
take us to break?
You heard it.
Heard it here first.
It's such a concept of his voice sounds like such a product of sports, like legitimate
Okay.
sports, and I'm like, I just don't like your fucking voice. It
Now-
sounds too much like you're doing golf or baseball.
Oh. Now all I'm picturing is that Corey Graves and the other guy can understand what the dog is saying, but we can't. Like
yeah, what are the
Groot,
rules with this?
like Groot.
Yeah,
Like how
yeah.
it's like I am Groot, and they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
no, don't say that. That's terrible."
So
we
Bryce,
just have no
so
idea
Bryce,
what the dog said.
Okay, the rules are so Bryce and Corey can only understand them,
Yeah,
but no, can the production understand them?
maybe.
Understand the
Well,
the
no,
bitch.
because then the production could like bleep it. Could like bleep the dog, which you don't want to do because then you won't have Corey being like, "Whoa, you can't say that."
Okay, so for one, Corey understands the dog, but also the bitch is also just off the rails.
Off the
She
rails.
just doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't give a fuck.
She is a pit bull without rules.
Yes.
She is the stone cold of announcing. She'll flip someone off. She'll just start pissing on the desk. She does not give a fuck. I like this. I like
Yes.
this. What's the pit's name? I want to make it Delilah. Something nice, even though she's
Okay.
a pit bull.
Hey there, Delilah.
You okay?
What's it like in
Don't-
New York
okay.
City?
All right, so SummerSlam. We
SummerSlam.
pretty much covered that.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing is Brock Lesnar fucking lifted the ring with a fucking what truck was he using?
It was like
like
a hoe.
yeah, it was a hoe.
Hoe
Was
and
it a hoe?
bitches. I think it was like some kind of like,
I forget what
construction.
I forget what the specific truck was,
It
but
wasn't a
he
backhoe.
lifted the ring up. That was actually pretty cool. And there was
Was that the beginning or the end of the match?
the end.
Okay.
And there I mean they still did like another like 5 or like 6 minutes of stuff after that.
And so the Austin Theory shit didn't even count,
No.
which is weird.
It
This is
was-
why even.
Well, the bell didn't ring. He wasn't officially entered.
Yeah, but that's so stupid.
It was also funny watching Roman get lifted into the air, fall backwards when he lifted it. That was great.
Did you see the one? I'll have to show you it after this. So yeah, so SummerSlam.
SummerSlam was a thing.
It showed promise.
Yep, SummerSlam
A
was
lot
thing.
of people were happy about a lot of the people coming back. Do you think my hole will come back?
No,
No, you don't
Nope.
think she'll come back?
don't think so.
Why? Because she injured and did a lot of stupid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, I feel like there's not a lot of investment or money in bringing her back.
I guess
Like from a business standpoint, I don't know that it like
works.
makes sense.
I get you. So, moving on from there, what else do we have that's been going on?
Well, did you see Triple H is already like fuck you Vince to
No, what do you do? What do you do?
so on Friday night Karrion Kross and Scarlett came back.
I heard that. I didn't think. I was like, wait, when did Karrion Kross and Scarlett come back? And I guess SmackDown.
They have it on SmackDown.
I didn't watch SmackDown. That's probably
They
why.
I don't watch SmackDown,
I was busy
and
watching
I
Rampage.
I think it was I forget if it was Saturday morning or Friday night. I looked on I was like scrolling through and I was like, what? Like There was no rumors. There was no nothing about them coming back.
Yeah,
and
suppose
then
it
just
was last minute.
boom, he was just there. Apparently, it was.
I knew about it, but I was like, oh, when did he come back? I was like, I didn't see him on
Yeah,
anything.
I was like, yeah, wait a like. Triple H takes over. What, a week, 2 weeks in? He's like,
Yeah.
hey, remember those guys you fired? Fuck you, Vince.
Go fuck yourself.
and it was cool. I feel like it was an odd spot to put him in,
What
but
spot did they go into?
so it was the end of the show. Roman Reigns was cutting a promo. Drew McIntyre came out and was like, I'm not waiting for Clash at the Castle. I'm gonna come kick your ass right now.
Gonna come kick your ass right
Kick
now.
your ass right now. I feel like
Yeah.
that was
It's more Irish.
More Irish, yeah.
It's okay.
So anyway, then the music hit for Karrion Kross, and Scarlett was at the top of the ramp, and then he jumped him like coming from the crowd, and he like
Did he have the dominatrix
throw him
stuff?
against the
Did he have the helmet?
no.
Oh,
He like slammed him against the stairs a couple times, and then Scarlett put the hourglass in the ring.
He
Towards
beat up
Roman.
both?
No, he did. He just beat up McIntyre.
Okay.
He beat up McIntyre outside of the ring. Roman was still in the ring, and then Scarlett put the hourglass in front of Roman, and they like left, as in like your time is ticking.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was awesome. I'm glad that he's gonna get a legitimate shot at a main roster run, like with the full gimmick, and not like, hey, remember all the cool things about you? Well, now that you're on the main roster, you're not gonna have any of that.
Plus, they're married, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're it's like
You
You know,
okay?
I
You good?
apparently not. You're gonna wear this stupid helmet. You're gonna look like a gladiator. You're not gonna have the cool music. You're not gonna have the cool entrance. You're not gonna have your wife. You're like fuck that
Just
shit.
you. Just you, and this.
Because like I don't know, his whole entrance presentation was like really cool in NXT, and
Okay.
it was just annoying that they were like, hey, everything cool about you, we're not doing, and then like 3 or 4 weeks later they took him off TV and were like, you don't have what it takes, we're gonna fire you. So
I just noticed I got a Twitter thing in that says, "Hey, I have a YouTube show covering pro wrestling interviews and vlogs. Can you please subscribe?" That's weird.
from who?
That's just some guy on Twitter. I guess because he watches our videos.
Probably he's like hoping that you'll follow him and he'll follow you,
And then when I follow him, he'll wait a couple days and then unfollow me, so he just has a follow. That's what they usually fucking do. Anyway.
oh really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Oh, people do that shit all the time.
I didn't know that.
So anyway.
That's rude.
Highlight of my week was dumpster match. I liked that.
The dumpster match was awesome.
I like the reference to Billy Gunn because it's like, oh, he's been in like plenty.
Yeah. And Max Caster had a he
said
had
Vince's name.
yeah, he said Vince. Oh man.
On one half, I'm like, that's cool. On the other half, I'm kind of annoyed with people like, oh, he said Vince's. Who cares, dude? Yeah, he can say his name. It's not like a
I
big
just
deal.
liked the diss.
Yeah. It
The
gets
diss
a
was
good
good.
pop, but everyone's, can he say that? Yeah, he can say whatever he wants.
But this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
They
I thought the Gun Club died for legitly.
I was like, holy shit.
because they came over and checked on them. Like, did they even stay in the dumpster when it flipped?
I think they did.
Scared
I
the
could
shit
be
out of me.
wrong. Maybe they didn't.
It looked like the
It
cardboard.
looked like they did.
The cardboard that was in it flipped out.
Mm-hmm.
But like the worst thing you want to see is like someone getting flipped and then a leg or arm gets caught outside of it and just
Right,
crushed.
and that's why they clasped the doors, but that apparently didn't work.
Well, they did it with fucking zip ties
I
as
know,
if it
right?
wouldn't have broken.
I was like, damn.
It was almost like, okay, they're gonna be safe in there. And then when I realized when they flipped it, I'm like, oh wait, that was stupid. Why'd you guys use zip ties and
Yeah,
not like a
right?
lock or something?
Right. Unless the whole thing was that they did it with zip ties so they could do it quickly and they weren't actually in there. But I think they were in there.
Maybe. Or the fact that it'd be easier to not having the dumpster fall on its upside down
Mm-hmm.
on a mat instead of being stuck in there with a lock and having to hit the top of the door and be stuck on the top of the door. You know what I mean? Like you'd be
Yeah.
upside down on the door. It'd be harder to hit because you'd have to be the force of you is gonna keep going, and the doors aren't. So
Yeah.
like if they just land on a crash pad that was flipped up, it would work that way.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was
That's
definitely
scary though, man.
that was definitely my favorite thing of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and I've said this before. I'm not a fan of Moxley. His title stuff, I'm like, you know.
So I'm very interested in who he's going to face at All Out
All Out?
because because as far as all the rumors have been going around, Punk is not going to be ready for All Out.
Yeah.
Every news site, everything is saying Punk's not going to be ready for All Out, and based on the way that everything is being booked right now, I think they were banking on Punk being ready for All Out.
It would have made sense to do that. I mean,
because the way I see it, so here's another thing, right? That made me think they were banking on Punk being healthy was they're doing the Moxley Jericho match next week, and I was at first when they were like, "Hey, I'm Moxley Jericho," I was like, "Oh, okay, this will be the main event for All Out," and then when they were like, "I'll fight you in 2 weeks" or whatever, I was like, "Oh, they're banking on Punk being ready."
I'm very
Like,
kind
because
of
otherwise you just push that match back and do Jericho, like, you know what I mean?
a lot of the JSA stuff. I'm kind of annoyed, especially with the BCC and them.
It a little overplayed.
Yeah,
Like they won.
because like they're transitioning over from Eddie Kingston to Sammy, and then
Well, yeah.
Moxley
It's almost like they won the cage match. They won War Games, so like it should be, or not War Games. What the fuck they call it? Blood and Guts. They won Blood and Guts, which should like end the feud. Like, let's move
yeah,
on.
and then they won the barbed wire thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, did he win the barbed
No,
wire?
Jericho won the barbed wire thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jericho won the barbed wire thing. So it's still like, there was no point.
I thought the cage match was going to happen. We were going to move on because I
Yeah.
thought Eddie was going to go after Claudio for getting the win,
Yeah,
which they didn't do.
yeah. I don't know.
But now I also wonder if they're keeping the BCC JSA stuff going a little bit longer, specifically because they had planned for Punk, and now
Yeah.
Punk's not there, and so now they have to because it's not just like, oh, Punk's not here, we need to put no, whoever they put in their slot, well then now they need to shift somebody else into that person's slot, and it ends up moving 4 different people.
I don't know. With Moxley, I don't feel like he's there to entertain. I feel like he's just there to just brutalize people, which is fine and all, but I don't know how many times could like I said with his matches, someone bleeds.
Yeah.
Like they get stubbed their toe and they'll get cut open.
Well, you just you're kind of done with the formulaic nature of his matches.
Yeah.
Is basically what I'm hearing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Which-
even the Swerve in Our Glory thing was kind of like. Did you watch Rampage at all?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
He beat that guy who won the Battle Royal at the Ric Flair thing. Which I heard was just there was a certain legitimate couple minutes where Ric Flair was not doing anything. Like he was having a hard time putting into the figure 4 leg lock.
Oh.
Like there were points where
I thought you were going to say where he wasn't doing anything, and I was like, was he tagged out? Because it was a tag
No,
match.
he was doing nothing, as in Andrade had to help him.
Oh.
It was very. They were there were parts where it just feel, and it wasn't oh come on, you should be able to do. He's 70 something.
He shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, if anything, it's just this is par for the course, and it's not really necessary, but we're doing it anyway. I thought it was cool that Brett, Mick Foley, and Undertaker were there.
Yeah.
There were even people I think what's his face was there as well. Scarlett and Caden were there as well. There were a bunch of people in the crowd where you're like, I know that person, I know that person, I know that person, and you're like, these are all wrestlers I know.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
What's the one guy? They had him on Dark at one point. I want to say Blake something. He's big on fuck, I don't know his fucking name. I'll look him up later.
Okay.
The point is that they had a bunch of people. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that guy and this guy and that guy and this guy, and it was cool. But I heard the main event was very, very hard to watch.
Interesting.
And they even gave him color too, which was weird.
Oh.
I was like, why would you do that? Like, I'm sure he has no blood left.
Because Ric Flair was like, motherfucker, this is my last
I
match
wanna
ever, and I'm
bleed.
bleeding.
I want to bleed. Whoa!
It wasn't even
And I'm-
planned. He just did it himself.
Yeah, he just started bashing into his head. And I'm gonna bleed, and I'll go down to Vermont and Atlanta and tell you, and I'm the ladies' man, and woo! I don't know. He just says a bunch of shit. He just says, just a bunch of shit. But anyway, I got off topic. He fought that one guy. He beat the shit out of that one guy. Swerve in Our Glory fought Josh Woods and Tony Nese, and
Yep.
that was a street fight, a Friday night street fight, which is different than any other place, like when a Minneapolis street fight or a Philly street fight.
Or a Wednesday street fight.
Is a Wednesday street fight a thing too? Oh,
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Maybe. I
Um,
don't know.
It was.
If it is, it's different, though.
Yeah, of course, it's different from a Wednesday street fight. So, but they still won. I realized after when I watched that tag team match, and I don't know if it's because of the chemistry they have, but I'm like, I'm really tired of seeing Swerve versus Tony Nese. Because now I've seen it maybe 4 times. When he premiered,
Yeah.
and then he fought him again, and then he fought him in the handicap match recently, and then he fought him in the tag team match, and I'm like,
Yeah, I thought this was a... I felt like this was a... To me, it felt like this was just a one-and-done
Yeah.
tag match to get them to have a tag team match and rivalry prior to probably this week. I feel like we'll start setting up whoever they are going to wrestle at All Out.
but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We did not talk about Dynamite.
We did not.
I did call.
break the move, dynamite. That's the song.
Yeah. It was definitely it was you did it perfectly.
That's how the song goes.
So we're getting Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yep.
I love Powerhouse. And then Wardlow beat. Shit, I'm going off again. So Wednesday there was a moment where I told you and I called it that the Elite were going to betray the Young Bucks. Well, not the Undisputed Elite. I'm saying the Elite and the Young Bucks. Because the Undisputed Elite is both of them.
They imploded.
Did they implode? Or did the Elite betray the Young Bucks?
No. First off, you mean the Undisputed betrayed the Young Bucks?
Sorry, yeah, the Undisputed. I was giving the wrong name. I was going to say Undisputed Elite, but I'm like, that's all of them.
Bam,
So,
bam.
the Undisputed Era group from NXT. Red Dragon and Adam Cole, let's just say that. I was like, this is gonna be them betraying them because even from BTE videos on YouTube, they were like just hinting at the fact that Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks are gonna be friends again.
I hadn't been watching Being the Elite, so I guess you were getting more background than I was.
There were times where like Matt and Nick Jackson were, I forget, it was one of them, they were texting and they were like, it said that like they were trying to contact Adam Page and he was like texting, nah, and he deletes it all, and then they ended.
Okay, because this is one thing that I don't like about AEW is they kind of like want you to get subtle clues and things. They want you to watch Being the Elite, which I don't always do.
Or like Dark.
Yeah, and so I don't like that aspect. So like the only thing that I had to go off of was on the Wednesday before they were walking around and like, oh, we need to find a tag team partner for this trios thing, and they ran into Hangman, and then the Dark Order came up and they were like, hey, and they walked away, and I was like, oh, this is them saying, oh, we thought we were gonna pick Adam Cole, but he's hurt. Oh, well, let's go over here. Oh, look, there's Hangman Adam Page. Oh, but he's got his buddies, and I thought it was all leading to Omega.
Yeah. Which I like CM Punk, I don't think he's ready yet.
Right. And especially because every rumor everywhere for the last like 5 months has been, oh, they want to do trios titles, but they're not going to do trios titles until Omega can come back and team with the Young Bucks. So then as soon as they announced it, I was like, okay, this to me says Omega's ready to come back.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Which is fine. It was just that I was, and like when they were beating them down, when the Undisputed turned on the Elite, like I legit, before
You thought
Adam
Omega was
Page's
coming
music
out?
hit, I legit was like, here comes Omega's music. Like Omega's gonna come out. It's gonna be a huge fucking pop.
So that the lack of information had it a little different for you.
Yeah.
I get
And
you.
and I'm not disappointed, right? Like it's still gonna be cool. Like it's cool to see them three together. It's still gonna be like a thing, but not that I was let down, but I was like I legitimately
You
was
were
like
led astray.
I was like, here comes Omega's music. Like Omega's coming back. There's gonna be a huge pop.
I feel like he's gonna come back at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If it's all out, then he will.
So who do they fight in the finals?
Who? That's what I was gonna get to. What are some teams that we're gonna say from this trios competition?
Dark Order will be a team.
Okay, Death Triangle.
Death Triangle will be a team. Maybe House of Black. See, because Buddy Murphy's hurt right
I
now.
don't think
So,
we can do that right now.
but they're doing this weird thing where it seems like Miro might join them. I don't know if you've been like those promos on
Yeah.
Wednesday. It seems like Miro might join them. I don't know.
Maybe him and his hot wife.
And his hot wife. Like I could see Miro joining them, so that way they're a team in the tournament, and then he turns on them in the match to like screw them out of the tournament. I could see that.
That's weird though.
Like
I mean,
like
there's
him playing mind games with
There's
Malachi.
there's not me thinking. There's not me thinking in a way that I want to see Miro versus Malachi Black. But I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad match. It's just
Yeah.
something like, oh, this is interesting. Like Sting and Malachi Black. I'm like, oh, that would be interesting. But it's
I could see Private Party and Helico maybe being a team in it.
like an Helico.
What else? Who
Butcher,
else could?
the Blade, and Bunny.
Yeah, I don't think that's
They can't
happening.
touch Bunny.
They
That's an
can't
easy
touch-
win.
You're right, easy win.
I mean, think about it. That's an easy dub right there. Because then if they knock a guy out, then plant her on top of somebody, what are they gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna kick out and hit a woman? No, you're
No,
not.
They're not.
You're not. She's fucking crazy too, man. She tries to bite the camera every time.
Every time. And then there's a bunch of like mediocre or like low level teams they could put in there, like
But
the what the fuck is it? The not the gentleman.
the wingman.
Wingman, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Like the wingman could be in it.
That's what they do. They put their pinky up and they touch pinkies.
See,
Like
so here's the
Or
thing,
do
right?
like a pinky
They just
swear
did
thing.
the turn. So like
What turn?
with the undisputed turning on the elite. So
Yeah.
like logically in my brain, I would go, okay, well, all out main event will be the elite against the undisputed to crown the first
Uh huh.
6-man tag champs. And that, and then that's probably what I do, right? If Omega's ready to come back, you have the undisputed win,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
and
the
then
only way I could
and
see
then
them
Omega
doing it.
comes out,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
and
then,
then you have a.
but then it's weird because then what do you do with Hangman?
Let him go do something else.
Go for the title again?
Go for the title again. I don't know. Yes, but see, that's the thing, because right now they're saying that unless it's like a swerve and they really are ready, like they're talking about how like Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly aren't cleared to compete. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well then who do they fight in the finals?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they would do there.
I feel like if we saw the bracket, like if they were like, here's the 4 teams or the 8 teams or whatever, I feel like I could like be like, it's this team and this team.
Yeah.
Um,
Did they say any kind of inclination of when we're gonna see that?
no, but it's got to. I would assume it's got to be soon.
I mean, August did just start though. We have until what, September 6th?
that's
September
what it, the
4th?
first Sunday in September. Hold on,
Is side question because I'm curious. Is I know you're not gonna know.
we got 4 weeks.
Pete Avalon and the librarian, are they married?
I don't know.
They're doing a lot of stuff with them, and I'm like, are they together or what's the deal with that?
We have 4 dynamites before the pay-per-view.
4 Dynamites.
We got 4 dynamites. So if this is going to be more than just 4 teams, then we got to know soon.
I would say this week. I would assume. They always are weird with that. Whenever they do tournaments, I'm like, when are they gonna do this match? And when are they gonna like? They always fucking just like with the Owen Hart Cup. We were like sitting here guessing, like, well, I don't know what we're gonna do here. And, I don't know what they're gonna do next, and I don't know how they're gonna set up the tournament and when they're gonna do this match. And they better
Yeah.
do that match quickly because it's gonna be a couple weeks.
Yeah, I see. I feel like the only reason it hasn't been announced is because they wanted to do that angle where the Undisputed turn on them and Hangman Page comes out. So I feel like this week we'll get like the announcement of the brackets.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's weird that there was like a week where like nothing. I guess it's weird because there was a week where nothing was announced and nothing was talked about except that one segment, and you don't see other people, you don't see any other teams being like, we're gonna fight for the 6-man. Like, there's nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
So
Two things. Moving on. One, what is the purpose? And I know this is a rhetorical question because nobody in Battle of the Belts lost their belts yesterday. What is, besides the fact of like having great matches to be able to watch, is the purpose of that? There were only 3 matches too. I'm like,
it's only an hour.
but I just want more.
So I think Battle of the Belts was something that was created because, I could be wrong, but I thought I saw that it was created because TNT really liked the ratings that AEW was putting up, and back when Dynamite was on TNT, and they wanted to every once in a while have a Saturday night 1 hour like special, like how Saturday night's main event used to be like a 1 hour special that happened every once in a while. They wanted to do something similar to that, and so they came up with this like Battle of the Belts thing, and that's kind of what they're doing.
Which is weird. I'm sure all the matches are great. I want to see. I didn't watch all of them, and I watched them.
Yeah,
eventually,
I have such a hard time with that because I'm like, I kind of want to watch the matches, but at the same time, I'm also like, what's the point?
Well, I look at the results. I'm like, Wardlow won, Rosa won, and Claudio won, and I'm like, I guess when I watch it, when I find it out this way, it's just like, okay, cool, whatever. What's the point? But then if I watched the match, I'd be like, oh, I enjoyed all 3 of those matches.
Yeah, I mean, I also think they did a terrible job of building up Battle of the Belts. Like all of a sudden they were like, it's a Saturday, and I was like, okay. And I think they did a bad job of like building up any matches or anything for it. Like all the matches just seemed not random, but maybe not built up enough.
My British baby was in it.
I know.
You know, I talk a lot about women, okay? And I talk a lot about women wrestlers. There's plenty of people who I respect, but I love Jamie Hayter. I respect Thunder Rosa. I respect Becky Lynch. I respect Bianca Belair. I respect Britt Baker. But I am in love with Jamie Hayter. I am a hater, and I love to be a hater. I love to hate her. I gotta figure out something clever with that.
Yeah.
If I go to AEW, next time I go, I'm gonna make a sign and just be like, I'm in love with a hater.
I'm in love with the hater.
I'm in love with a hater. So yeah, and then
All Out.
Yes.
Sorry.
Because
no. I totally cut you off.
Because we haven't done this in 2 weeks, and the last time you said we're going to
We should predict. Yeah.
All Out.
We should predict All Out.
And we have no frame of reference because we have nothing planned yet, right? Besides the trios.
Eddie.
Oh yeah,
Eddie challenged him to a match at the pay-per-view, so I assume that's going to be a match.
He's gonna make Ty Conti a widow.
Yeah.
I love Ty Conti, but bless her heart. But sometimes I'm like, what did she just say? I'm like, what? And like even when I'm watching like their vlogs, I'm like, it's like it's a delay where I'm like if you said something, say you said a sentence, like explain something. Just say a sentence, something you did today.
I went for a walk in the woods.
Okay. If you said that, just imagine me going, like, I went for a walk in the woods. Okay. Like, that's what I do with Ty Conti. When she says it, I'm like, and I have to say it back in my head because I'm like, okay, all right. She just said that.
Yeah.
I know it's rude, but, like, that's how my brain works because I'm like, it's not a thing on, like, she should speak better. It's more of like, Darren, you're a fucking idiot. It's more of like that concept. But bless her heart. I love her. You know, I love the be mad concept because it's just like the fans who are like, I don't like this. It's like, deal with it.
Yeah.
Just fucking deal. But anyway,
Should we predict? Should we
Do you
predict?
want to go
It would
first?
be
or
it would
do
be
you want
very
me to go
interesting to
first?
predict this far out because it's 4 weeks out.
It is quite very far out.
All right, here's my first prediction that I think we'll both agree on. Jungle Boy will go 1-on-1 with Christian.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no objections.
I think that's obviously going to be the.
Okay. Obviously, we've
Is there a
got.
special stipulation?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel like it'd just be a match.
I feel like just a match.
Unless I could see them doing a steel cage, because then he can't run.
Oh.
I could see
That's
him because
actually
he
a
keeps
good.
running.
He keeps running. That's a good.
I'd be like, he'd be like, you're a pussy. I'm gonna challenge you to a steel cage match, and that way you can't run like a bitch. You can't run out of the ring.
Yeah.
He's got.
By the way,
ring.
did you see his shirt on Wednesday? Said
Yeah,
Christian is a
that's why
pussy.
I said it again.
No, that's actually. I didn't think of that. That's actually a really good
That
idea.
would be a good stipulation.
That would
Will
be a
they
good
do it?
stipulation.
Maybe not, but I'm gonna predict that it's steel cage.
Or they could do something where they're wrestling and then like it's a match, and then when Jungle Boy starts heating back up and it's like maybe Christian runs and gets some counted out, and then they have a rematch that's a cage match where he can't run. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see either option.
Yeah. I mean, it could be either way.
Do you want to do one? Or do
I'm
you want
gonna
me to go again?
I'm gonna say, I mean, Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara will probably be a thing.
Yep.
It'll
Yep.
be, I don't know. It's weird because it's like, is there any build up towards it? Will there be anything very interesting about the match?
I would like to see them change it and be
Are you gonna say what I'm
Sammy
gonna
and
say?
Ty,
Yeah, and then Ruby and
Ruby and
yeah, I would
Kingston.
like to see that too.
Yeah,
That would be, I think, better.
I agree.
I
I think it'd be more interesting.
Yeah, I also agree. I think it's gonna be the trios will be undisputed, the undisputed, and the elite.
Okay, so you do think Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are cleared and they'll wrestle?
I think by that point, yeah. I think it's gonna be weird because I don't know. It's gonna be strange the way. I mean, it's even awkward when they betrayed them because they're like, they were literally like, they chop blocked Nick or
Mhm.
Matt, one of the two, and then while Bobby Fish was dealing with the one, he's like, "You guys can't. Hold on, I'll be right over there." And they're just like sitting there, like staring him in the face, like, we got you."
Yeah.
And then Bobby was like, "Okay, I'm here to do it," and then he did, knocked him out or whatever. But I think that's inevitably going to be the case.
Yeah. So I'll say I agree with that if they're cleared. But then they like have to be cleared because like I can't imagine that they did this segment this week where they attacked them if they're not
I'm sure
cleared
they
to
have a backup
wrestle.
plan.
like
If they,
my guess for the backup plan. My guess is if Undisputed Elite aren't in it because they're injured, then I think it's the Elite and Death Triangle are the finals. And then
Yeah.
that'll also fit in with the fact that the Young Bucks have faced, I'm pretty sure, have faced Lucha Brothers at every single All Out.
Oh.
I think.
Okay.
Because there's been two of them. Two of them?
I would have to say one of my favorite matches was them in the cage.
Oh, the cage is fucking awesome.
It's amazing. Like if I ever trying to sell someone on AEW, I'd be like, just watch this match. It's fucking amazing. And I don't even know anything about these two teams.
Because I know they did the cage, and then there was one All Out where they did the TLC.
Oh my god. Sorry, my hip is popping.
Ew.
I corrected.
So
Anyway.
that's my backup. I agree with you that should be the finals, and if it's not because of injury reasons, then Death Triangle takes undisputed spot.
Yeah. Trying to find a way to fit Dark Order, but they're not going to do that. Anyway, so
Not in the finals.
But I mean, involvement with Adam Page and everything.
Yeah.
But so then we have, is there going to be is this Quake at the Lake thing, is this
Mhm.
going to be an end all for Brody King and Darby Allin?
It seems like they're trying to build it that way because it's a coffin match,
So this would be the end of that feud.
presumably. The only way I see this not being the end of the feud is if is if the follow up is Sting and Darby against Malachi and King.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I think it's the end of the feud.
And then by that point, do you think? Because it's so iffy. Because Miro's shit is so fucking confusing. Like whether he's trying to join them or trying to beat them.
Right. Unless Miro doesn't join them, and then it's
Well,
Miro and Darby.
I could see them doing, finishing the feud, like doing the feud at Quick by the Lake, and then doing a tag team, and then the tag team being like Julia Hart, where he just shows up, the lights go out, Miro attacks Darby Allin and joins, the what you call it at All Out. I could see them doing that.
So you think they're gonna do Sting and Darby?
Sting and Darby versus Malachi and Brody King.
Brody King at All Out.
At All Out, and then Miro will reveal that he's part of House of Black now. Because
Okay.
I mean, at that point, you have House of Black has what 5 members,
Yes, at that
which
point.
I think as a stable, that's the right amount.
Mhm.
Like that's the perfect amount. I know Dark Order gets a little bit too much, but
Well, Dark Order's been losing them left and right.
what do we have to say? Let's go off the titles.
Titles, okay.
What
okay.
are we thinking as far as? I mean, we already dealt with the trios.
So, trios.
The TNT title match. Who is Wardlow facing?
I got no idea.
Satnam Singh.
Oh,
That could be. I mean, I don't know how it ended on Saturday, but
he beat Jay Lethal.
I know he beat him, but I don't know if like they did something or.
But it would make sense, right? He beat Jay Lethal, and then Jay Lethal's like this week on Dynamite or something, Satnam Singh like fucking jumps Wardlow or something. Like,
Yeah, like just obliterates
I didn't
him.
think about that. That's a
That would
good
be
pull.
a good setup.
And then you've got a big moment when he powerbombs
Yeah.
Satnam Singh.
yeah,
He's got to do it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, didn't he have
He
trouble
could do.
with?
Well,
he
he
had
could.
trouble with somebody. Morrissey.
Uh,
I feel
maybe.
like when I was watching one of them, he fought
he
one of the
did.
big
It was somebody
dudes.
bigger. I would say if
Because he only powerbombed him once and then was like pin him. He
I
didn't
would-
bother.
I would say if he fights Satnam Singh, he needs to do the Undertaker corner powerbomb. When he would do the last ride out of the corner, where if it was a guy he couldn't lift up to do it, they'd like be punching him in the corner, and he'd stand up and grab him and then
Yeah.
powerbomb. I think that's what he would have to do.
Yeah.
I don't think he
But
could
that would be
physically powerbomb him.
for me. That'd be the term price of admission right there. I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I want to see that match.
Okay, I'm on board. I'm on
Okay.
board. I had no idea, but I'm on board with that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then I'm glad I picked that person because I couldn't think of anybody else, and I'm like, there is somebody who's a big force who I can't think of, but I feel like that could have been done a while ago, and that was it. I was like, all right, Satnam Singh.
I think that so here's one for you. I think that we were going towards this match, and now I'm questioning whether we do or don't because I think Punk is not ready. So I don't know if this changes things. But I have been assuming for a while that it will be Jericho against
Moxley?
Bryan Danielson.
Oh, wait, for the title?
No,
Or just in general?
just in general.
Okay, I thought you meant because CM Punk wasn't ready yet.
So CM Punk's not ready. Moxley's going to fight somebody else.
But who's Moxley gonna fight?
I have no fucking idea. That's the only problem. I feel like I could very easily put together a really good card, but if Punk is not ready to come back, I have no fucking idea who Moxley
also
fights.
the BCC or the JSA, who do they have that could face John Moxley that would make sense? Like, there's no one really to be like, this would be a challenge for him.
Right, and I don't think it makes sense to, and I don't think it's going to be Jericho because they're doing Jericho now.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that. I don't feel like they do shenanigans where Moxley wins and then unless Jericho's going to win the title.
That'd be interesting. Because you're like, where do you go from there?
Yeah. Like for a while I've believed for the last like 3 weeks I've believed that we were going to do Jericho and Danielson and Punk was going to come back and fight Moxley. But like if Punk, so let's say Punk is good, then that's what we do. We do Jericho, Danielson, and then Punk fights Moxley. To unify the belts. If Punk's not ready, I legitimately don't know what we do with
I
Moxley.
just don't
with
feel like
Moxley.
there's any kind of threat for Moxley.
Well, that's the thing, right? Except Punk. There's nobody who's like causes a threat other than Punk.
Like, who can you put him up against? I have no fucking clue. Because
Yeah.
everybody they've had him, they're like,
And like Jericho's the only person. Like I'll be honest. Like of the roster right now that's not Punk, I don't believe anybody can beat Moxley except Jericho. I could see them giving the belt back to Jericho, but like
yeah,
other than that, I don't see anybody else taking it.
I don't fucking know. It's just so difficult to think of somebody who's a challenge for Moxley for me to go, oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
It's just like, oh, he's gonna beat him.
I feel like there are. So here's the thing. I feel like there are people who are really good challengers for Moxley, but they are currently
Doing something else.
yeah.
I have
Like
such
if Brody King wasn't, or like if the House of Black wasn't fighting with Darby and shit, I would totally be like Malachi Black. Just do Malachi Black and Moxley. Moxley's probably gonna win, but it'll be a really fun feud and match.
I almost had that just notion just now of like thinking like Moxley's like Cena in the way that I don't think anything can beat him. It's not in the way of like he does the same moves.
Yeah.
It's more of like a brutal way of being like, yeah, he's just gonna break this person down and beat him.
If Wardlow wasn't TNT champion, I could see Wardlow beating him.
Really?
I could see like Moxley's doing this shit, and then like Wardlow just fucking pounds him down, and finally is able
That
to
sounds
like
hot.
be the guy who it does. Is finally able to like stop him. But he's the TNT champion. I don't think they want to do that because I think Wardlow gets booed in that situation, and they don't want Wardlow to be booed.
Yeah. Well, we need a heel that would face Moxley, but let's get past that.
So yeah,
Swerve in Our Glory. Who are they gonna fight?
I
would love
think
to see Lucha Brothers against them
Lucha Brothers would be cool.
because if they're out of the tournament, quickly, I'd be like, okay, they're gonna fight at All Out.
Yeah,
But if they're not, they might win the trios in general.
So here's the weird thing, right? If they're not injured, how is Swerve in Our Glory defending the championships against anybody other than FTR?
Yeah, I guess you're right. FTR is probably the best choice.
Like, I don't know. Like, it would...
No, it's a good point, though.
I mean, it's wrestling. Anything can happen, right? But for me, I'd be like, man, it's really weird that they're choosing to give this to the Lucha Brothers and not FTR, who are ROH and New Japan and AAA tag team champions, and they're ranked #1. Like,
I think you're right. That'd probably be the best way to do it. I was thinking of what I'd want to see and would be entertaining, but it would make sense to just do FTR.
No, I'm with you. I think,
forgot about FTR completely, to be honest, because I was like thinking about like people who don't have titles.
Yeah, I mean, if I could book any way, like I would probably go with you. I would want to see Lucha Brothers.
I want to see FTR versus them too, because I feel like it's going to be the same.
Right.
The same.
I think FTR. I think it's got to be FTR.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm cool with that. So FTR versus.
I think it's FTR Swerve in Our Glory.
FTR versus Swerve in Our Glory. We have Wardlow going up since Satin was saying, who is Thunder Rosa fighting?
I don't know because I'm
really
so tired of her and Britt Baker.
Yeah.
I'm done with this fucking feud,
She's
dude.
gonna fight Rebel.
I was done with this feud when they were like, "Ha ha ha, sandbag. Let's have another tag match," and I was like, "Fuck this."
I sent you the text too, where I was like, "This is a nice match." Problem is, I seen it already.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago.
I would say if they want to spice it up and do something different, Fatal 4-Way.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna. Okay, that's a good idea too.
Oh, I was gonna say her, Thunderstorm, or Rosa, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, and Hayter.
I was thinking
Loser?
it's a J. And a J.
Oh, and a J.
Because if she's just a bad guy, and I'll choke you out, and I'll choke you out. And it's
Choke
actually
you out,
becoming
choke
funny.
you
Like
out.
it's not like I'm like I do not believe her at all, but I'm like this is actually quite funny for her
Yeah.
to just choke out whoever. That was actually pretty funny. Like
And
I
a
was like,
JSA.
I'm not scared of her at all from this promo, but I'm like, and then she starts like choking out the random guy. I'm like, that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's good. But I could see them doing like a JSA takeover kind of thing, trying to take titles.
I could see that.
Although she'd have to get up in the rankings. You know what I should do? You should come up with another match, and I'll look at the actual rankings as of right now.
Okay. I will come up with another match. Jade Cargill.
I did want to show you something real quick, and You don't need to comment on it, but I just wanted to show you the picture if you saw it already. I was
I
like,
did.
That's cool.
Jade Cargill needs a challenger, and Pookie would like it to be the more than a woman. That's her catchphrase now, right?
That is now, but I did the boop thing right now because you guys can't see it. But
Chris Statlander. I would also like to see that match. And I think there's equal chance that it could be Chris Statlander or Athena. So I'm gonna pick Statlander
I looked up AEW
because I'm more
rankings,
interested in that match.
and it came up as an insurance company.
Makes sense.
Does it?
No, I don't know. Did you see? Oh, when we were talking about the Acclaimed earlier. They were on Hey EW
Today?
this week. Yep.
Oh shit! I gotta watch that.
Hey ew.
Hey, ew.
I could also see them facing Swerve in Our Glory. They're super over. They won the dumpster match. I could see them, but I still think it's FTR. I feel like if it's not FTR, then the only reason it's not is because what's his name's has a injury shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Dax or Cat? No, it's Dax. Dax Hardwood he's been working with like an injured shoulder recently. And so if they're taking time off to kind of rest and let him rest for a couple weeks, then that is the only way I see it not being FTR.
So, okay, so I could see Jay Lethal is second. The number one contender for the men's championships is Hangman Adam Page. This is as of August 3rd.
Okay. Well, we know it's not going to be Hangman.
Number 3, who could be a possible opponent for Jon Moxley or Wardlow or even Pac for the All Atlantic, is Powerhouse Hobbs. But I feel like we're going to get Ricky Starks versus him.
Yep.
I mean, unless they do it out of nowhere for Quick by the Lake.
I feel like that'd be rushed. Unless they do unless the point is that they do a match at Quake at the Lake to then set up a rematch.
Yeah, and then it goes Chris Jericho and Danny Garcia. Oddly enough,
and I don't think it's Jericho. So if Moxley wins, then I don't think Jericho faces him at All Out because they just did that match, and I don't think they're into being like, hey, we just did this match, let's do it again 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
At the pay-per-view.
The contenders for the women's are Toni Storm, Chris Statlander, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and then Athena. And then
yep, I say get them all up in there.
Just do them all.
Yep. Do
Toni
I said,
Storm,
do Fatal
Britt
Four
Baker,
Way.
and Jamie Hayter. And then
Do Fatal Four Way, and
yeah, I mean they could do that.
I don't think they would do a Fatal Four Way and a triple threat for both of the women's titles. So I think one of them has to be a 1-on-1.
I think Chris Statlander and Cargill would be good, and then do the Fatal 4-Way for the women's title.
Yep, I agree. Because I swear to God, I'm going to scream if they do another 1-on-1 match with her and Britt Baker.
Yeah. FTR, Young Bucks, Dark Order, more accurately, 10 and Evil Uno, and then the Acclaimed and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, who are part of the JSA, who are sports entertainers. I thought it was weird that they changed their names, but then I'm like, oh well, they can't both be Matt and Jeff. That's what I think about every time. I'm like, oh yeah, because they changed their names because of the Hardy Boys, because that'd be just confusing.
Of sports.
Entertainers.
I love that the
Someone should
one
write-
has the pocket knife
Comb.
I fucking love
I
that.
feel like we should have been writing down our answers.
We should have.
But you guys can just listen to us. It's too far. It's too far out.
It's too far out.
How much time we got?
An hour and 10 minutes.
Okay. I guess we'll finish this up and then be done.
Yep.
I'm gonna cut all this out.
Yep. Yep.
So are we doing the All Atlantic for the?
I have no idea.
I feel like if we did, bring in someone from another place.
I guess, because that's what they seem to be doing.
That I feel like would be just better off. Like, I don't
John
know.
Moxley will face his former compadre, Sami Callihan.
Sami Callihan.
Sami Callihan.
You think Sami Callihan versus? You think he's gonna show up from Impact over to?
Nope.
Is he even part
I
of
just-
Impact still?
I don't know.
Last time I saw him.
All I know is they've been tag teaming on the Indies recently,
Oh.
reforming the Switchblades.
Oh.
So he turns on him on one of those, and then boom, off to the races. There's your all-out main event. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, with the All Atlantic title, it could really be anybody. Like,
Yeah.
Ishii could come back and be like, I got sick at Forbidden Door. Give me my title shot. I got gypped to that match. Give me my title shot.
Give me my title shot.
They had to put that little scrawny dude in instead.
What if Moxley defended against Claudio?
Well, then what are you going to do with the Ring of Honor title?
I don't know.
Winner takes all.
Winner takes all.
I don't know. But I feel like everything is fucked, and we have no idea what's going to happen at all.
Yeah,
By the end of this, I feel like we got nothing done.
Bullshit. I feel like we.
I mean, they're predictions. We did
I
get
feel like
nothing
I
done.
got. I feel like I got like 80% of it.
You got the mind juices.
I feel like I
flowing.
got 80% of it. The women's
You can't
title is
have
like
any-
I don't.
You can't have anything done, Kibbles. It's
I mean, done.
predictions.
I meant
You
correct.
You predicted a full match.
I think
card.
I think I predicted 80% of my match. I think 80% of my match card is correct.
Okay. I would say it's good, not correct. 'Cause
I would
we
say
don't
it's
know if
correct.
it's correct.
I would say it's
It's
okay.
a good.
It's
a good
going to
foot
be
forward.
correct. Jesus Christ.
You sound so sure of yourself though, and
I
I'm
think
like,
80% of it is going to be correct.
it's a step in the right direction.
Well,
I
they
think
normally
you
have
a
what
good
10
point.
matches, roughly. Christian
good
and
day.
Jungle Boy. We both.
Christian
That's
and
going to be a
Jungle Boy.
thing.
Okay, Christian and Jungle Boy. Fatal 4-way for the women's title, right? For the
Yeah,
women's
that one's iffy.
title. You're iffy on that one. It was your
I'm
idea to
iffy
fatal
on if it's
four-way.
right or not.
It doesn't matter. It's your prediction. Just
Yeah,
go
but
with
I'm
it.
saying
No one's gonna come and go.
Yes,
You're
I'm
under
with
arrest
you.
for
I'm with you.
lying.
I'm just trying to predict how much of my prediction is correct.
Wait, what?
Yes.
So, tag team titles: FTR versus Swerve in Our Glory.
Yep.
I like that as well. Chris Statlander versus Jade Cargill.
Yep, I got
This
her.
is a personal thing for me.
I would prefer to see Chris Statlander, so
Do we have Sammy Guevara versus Eddie Kingston?
I had the tag because I like your idea of the tag match.
Oh yeah, the
With
mixed
Ruby
tag.
Soho and
The mixed tag I'd like
and
to
Ty.
see. And then
Jericho and Danielson.
Jericho and Danielson. Who's winning the trios? Well, what's the trios match?
I say
Disputed against
yeah.
the Bullet Club, I guess they're kind of.
They're the elite.
The elite, whatever. Okay, and then the championship is Moxley versus somebody.
Somebody. I have no idea.
I have no fucking.
I have
clue.
no fucking idea who Moxley fights.
John Grisham.
Jonathan Grisham.
I don't think he can do that either because isn't he released or something?
I think he wanted out of his contract. Yeah.
You know, side note, one of the biggest things for people is they always say, "Oh, I thought you were shorter than Rey Mysterio."
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't bother to talk to people anymore. He's like, "I don't deal with fans anymore because they always think I'm so short." It's still disrespectful. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
No, I agree.
Okay, so John Moxley versus.
Shalalala. See, this is like annoying. Like I legitimately don't know who he fights if it's not Punk.
How about well, we'd have to see it again, but
Because they've built up no challenger for
I was
him.
thinking about scary people that I'd want to see him fight again, or scary people that I think he's a challenge to, and I'm thinking of Minoru Suzuki, but then I'm like, we've seen that already.
Yeah. Satnam Singh and
Wardlow. And then
let's just make it 9 matches. We don't have to fucking be up all night.
I'm gonna do Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs,
Yeah, good pull.
but then we don't know who's fighting Moxley.
Okay, well we got a good 10 match card. We don't know who's fighting Moxley.
Fuck. Okay. Well, that's it. I guess that's all we got. So we'll see how close we're getting accurate to it. I'll
Yeah.
write it down. Darren, as you're listening to this and editing it, write it down, and we'll see how close we got. Not that it matters, because who the fuck cares? It's just a prediction. But Kibbles is sure that he's correct.
No, I
You just seem so sure of yourself, which is fine. But they are also predictions. So it doesn't really
Yes.
matter if you're right or wrong.
I think
I
that
like the ideas.
I think
you
that a
have.
large amount of my predictions will come true.
I like your ideas.
Thank you.
I like your ideas that you have for this pay-per-view.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's gonna be it for us this time. If you haven't yet, check out the watch along that we did for Money in the Bank. Fucking weird
It's Veer.
match. It's fucking Veer.
I had to go and re-listen to that part because that's my favorite part of the whole thing.
I legit thought it was
you,
Veer.
you legit were just like, it's Veer! Like you
And
freaked
I was
out.
like, wait, nope, he's not here yet.
I was laughing so hard.
Oh
man,
we'll do more of those.
fuck, that was funny.
And yeah, just thanks for listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Thank you. And you know what Kibble says.
Do the needful.
There he goes. He remembered it this time. Thanks for listening.
They're both holding it.
So wait, if we can't go back, can we?
We could.
Oh, it's Veer. Oh wait, no, that's what's his face.
Veer.
I thought it was Veer. Sorry. That doesn't make any sense. So wait.
That was the best part of the whole thing.